Good morning, everybody. This is Mia. My disclaimer is I do work as a doctor, but the probability is that it's likely that I am not your doctor yet. So, when I have a disclaimer, which I wanted to have on all of my description boxes, if I talk about any kind of medications, conditions, my own health plan, food plan, any products I use, any websites I shop at, the disclaimer is that you need to be aware of what you do, what you can do, what you're allergic to, what medications you are on, and take that, present that to your healthcare provider, your holistic healthcare provider, and your primary care provider, and work together with them to get the best care for you. And I have that disclaimer because I will talk about health. I wanted to actually talk about herbs and homeopathy more than I am. So if I can prop you guys up. And I didn't know if I should keep that on this channel or maybe keep like the more intro on this channel, and then on my medical site I can do disclaimers again, but I can go more into detail. That way people can, again, be reminded to present what their health condition is to their healthcare provider. Okay? Alright. I cringe when I see people giving medical advice through social media. Now, not necessarily watching somebody make a, raw cracker. This is just my opinion. I'd have to look it up, so I'm not trying to tell someone what to do. If I see somebody making a recipe that happens to be a juice, a smoothie, a raw cracker, a cheese substitute on YouTube, and I watch the video, I'm watching the video. If I make that kind of video, which I would like to do, y'all, besides the noodle one, which, those noodles are really good, I would like to say, what is information, education, things that, again, have a disclaimer that say, ABC. You see preppers doing med kits and house kits and water purifying kits, and they'll have disclaimers. Again, so I want to say it verbally. I hope to remember to write one out. I was trying to keep a document so that I could just copy and paste that with the fundraising attempt, so that I can have a camera and take you guys out into what you can't really see, into, it's going to backlight me, nature on the eastern shore, y'all, and on the western shore when I travel for whatever reason. I do classes. I went to do a class last October, medically minded. It was medically career minded. It was the CPR first aid. No, I took it 2 years ago, so it was about a year and a half ago, because it'll be due in October. Looks like I have like an eye appointment somewhere an hour away in November. Oh my gosh, is it on a holiday? I went on to Delaware. Was that the first time I drove in by myself? I think it was. I think it was after I did census work. So I had gone into Delaware. We missed a turn or something. Because I had stated, "Oh my God, I'm so close to Delaware. I've never been there." And then we missed a turn because I was talking, and we ended up on a bridge in Delaware. And when I had to do, let's say CPR, I had to do work for the census in Pennsylvania, as far away as they got. Again, not giving direct advice. There's some good jobs, some good paying jobs, and paying for mileage, I think, is a plus, because it's rough to support a car. Our car is broke. One of it, the one I use is, I don't even know where. I guess it's down a few blocks away. Broke down right as we pulled in. The radiator cracked, and my partner wanted to get a metal radiator like his other vehicle. We looked at the other vehicle, and it was also plastic on top, even though it was metal. And that's disappointing because as soon as we pulled in, it's a stick shift. I don't know if I was gonna say put it in park. As soon as we pulled in, started coming out of the engine, and I was like, it's like radiator, but it looked smoky. It looked brown. I was like, ooh. So I thought it was legit, like smoke and all this, like ground my stuff. My Ford Tempo, I never drove it again when the radiator went out, and he spent money at AutoZone to get all the replacement parts. And it's amazing that I could have had that car for a few $100s worth of parts. So the people know that. They were mechanics who took my car. It was a nightmare. But between the transmissions going out on the Toyota Camry and the radiator. What's weird? I had just got the radiator. Didn't I just get the radiator fixed on that other car when it went out? Or was that the other? Anyways, if you know how to do car repair, which I should have been out there with him, I couldn't find my light, so I just stayed inside. I should have gone out with him. So I'll get ready. I'll get on some kind of dingier clothes and get out. And we have laundry too as well that we have to do semi-manually but noisily if we're not using the literal wash pan, or what do you call it, wash pan with the what's it called? I don't even know what it's called. The little like, I'm gonna say serrated or corrugated. I got some bamboo. So I'm being true to myself, and I'm taking my health into my hands. The social media I was talking about, which, because I'm licensed, it's not as it's more something that I'm not supposed to do. Remember, when I went to medical school, they said do not give anybody any advice. Don't go in the store and you see a friend or someone overhears you talking and they say, what do you think I should do? I have this condition where my skin's dry. Like, you're not supposed to say drink water. And people say water. You hear people all the time. Again, even influence. Oh, you should drink this much. You should do this much. You should have this much protein. If you have an issue, a condition, congestive heart failure, certain kidney diseases, telling somebody to eat certain fruits, telling somebody to drink water is a big no-no. Telling somebody to do certain things with protein, Telling somebody who's, oh, you need to lose weight, well, why aren't you eating more salads? Or why aren't you drinking green smoothies? Or this, like, someone that is on cholesterol medication. They have a history of blockage, myocardial infarction, embolism, pulmonary embolism. Like, no. This person almost died because they clot. Vitamin K in the dark, not just dark leafy vegetables, in the vegetables contributes to clotting factors, which is a natural thing, which is if you had a baby, your healthcare provider, if you had one, likely said something about vitamin K, either shots or drops. Why? Because look at biochemistry, and I actually meant to bring back my biochemistry book. I have an eBay item that sold over the weekend, which is good for me. I'm adjusting the prices. So I think, are these all three? I don't think I got to the bottom one. There's 3 crates. They all look the same when they're not together. There's one big one on the bottom and 2 other ones. What is this crate? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I brought out everything. I was on a roll the other day. I had a ring light. I had some little space on this dresser that my partner went and got and restored. So I was like, I'm going to do my eBay. I'm going to get my package. I'm going to find the right shipping materials. And then he had a rest. And I was like, in the room I was in, I was like, no. And I had stuff spread out everywhere. I feel like, being true to myself, I have a schedule for my clinic. I have a lot of work that I have to do that I'm dreading. I have motivation problems. I have my counselor telling me, I forgot to write it down. so hard on yourself. And it's so hard on myself. I've also been told before that I was an overachiever. Being hard on myself, being an overachiever, I am in a state of success and excellence. Even if I don't feel like I provide excellent care or do excellent work, such as like housekeeping, but my mind strives to be excellent. Like the old-fashioned Porsche 911s and the pretty paint jobs and the engines having the air cooled and all these things that were designed by people that knew what they were doing. The old Mercedes. It's like I strive to be excellent for my sake, not in competition. And that's where I tend to mess up, is my competition and my desire to actually make a living or feel that I'm valued enough to even make minimum wage, as though you have seen me on my videos when I could not get a job for years and years. It's been decades. I've applied for jobs over and over again. For the life of me, I couldn't get a job, and I went and got a position doing volunteering in a major hospital for 2 years. Direct patient care, not a penny came to me. That didn't do me any good on my resume because I've never ever gotten a medical job anywhere, except for when I had clients who had autism, and that was prior to my licensing. So it's very difficult for me to think somebody is saying I'm an overachiever or that I'm too hard on myself, when I know when there's people who are begging for food and money from me in the past couple of weeks, and I have credit to get to where I'm going, which is work or training or to visit my family. When I put everything on a credit card, contributing to my almost $500,000 of debt, I want to turn around and say, hey, I'm in debt. Give me money. And I noticed the uptick. I try to look nice. I try to salvage these dresses really old. That's not that old, but so old considering my weight gain. My partner bought me this. It's not cheap, and I try to take good care of it, keep it hung up when possible, washed gently, and not try to get stains on it. I noticed, me and my partner both will hang up our clothes and take them off when we're home, and we'll like I got some stuff that needs to be ironed over here, and so we try to look nice, and we're old-fashioned, just like when my family, I see pictures of my mother, and she's poor and black, has a single mom, and it's in segregation times, and she talks about she only got two dresses a year, one for school, one for church, and how spoiled I was wanting to go get clothes. And it's like, I don't have some cotton dress I'm going to wear to school every day. And I felt like, do you get last year's dress to wear? Are you going to wear the same dress? Did you have a washer or dryer? They even, like, I know they had electricity. My other grandmother didn't even have, I think she had running water. She didn't have an indoor toilet until I was born in the 70s, kind of late 70s. So I just think you guys look so awesome in your pictures. You guys have nice cotton pressed clothing with no tears, no dirt. Your hair is like perfectly done. And your parents and grandparents, or yeah, your parents and all, I don't actually see parents, grandparents, and grandchildren together in pictures. But you see these families, their cars are clean, their house, no matter how shacky it is clean. It's not cluttered. There's always food in your stomach. Amazing. It's harder to do that in this day and age. And I don't know what the struggle was in the minds of my ancestors during segregation. You're not allowed to go to school to do what you want to do. You're not allowed to work where you want to work. My relatives, my ancestors, just one generation above me, were servants in the servant field. My grandfather on my dad's side worked as a car mechanic somewhere for someone else. It was not his business. Cleaning, cooking, working on yards. My dad, all the way up from young age, was working with where his mom worked with wealthy Jewish people. My mom lived as a mom who was single in a servant apartment for some extremely wealthy people in Ohio. She worked as one of their cooks and raised up my mother until she could save money to buy a house. Now, who can do that now? If I worked some of the lower paying jobs, which even fast food isn't that the government jobs I had were lower paying than McDonald's, okay? So my mom's like, oh, if I didn't go to medical school and I worked at McDonald's for the past 30 years, I would have had my house. I would have been able to have a beach house. I would have been able to have a nice boat, and I would have been able to take some vacations. And I would have been able to contribute to my kids, to their education, because my money would go to taxes and repairs and the car and, the regular things, instead of all to rent. Don't even think about food. It's like, why do we have all these vegetables in the fridge that I'm not going to be able to eat because I thought I found a place that I wanted to support? Local farm, co-op, small store that wasn't owned by a huge corporation. And I stocked up on sale items. Like, wait, I'm the only one eating this stuff now. It's going bad. Now I'm trying to gobble it up and to complain to you guys that I'm overweight from eating fruits and vegetables. So you have to do things in moderation again. Not taking that as medical advice. I have the uptick in being begged and looked at differently. Someone gave me the stink eye yesterday. There's a group of people I keep talking about out here that give me stink eye. They're rude. When I first came in, I used to wave and talk. Then they started flirting with my boyfriend in front of me. And, oh, hi. And when I walk by, they're like by myself or with my boyfriend. And then they're like, because I'll be walking around gaining 15 pounds every few days. And fat, my thighs jiggle and rub together, and I'm out there wearing some weird shirt and outfit, all tubby looking with my Doc Martens, because that's just how I dress. It's like, oh my gosh, we're going somewhere. Post office is closed, and just grab whatever. Like, I'm looking at some khakis, then I'm looking at some, camo. Then I'm looking at some pants I got in a mystery box, some slacks that I actually wore for the first time. Let me show you these slacks, guys. Let me show you these slacks. I'm not doing the mystery boxes anymore. I'm so missing shopping, guys. You don't even understand what's in my blood. I'm supposed to be making money. I went to bid on a $15 set of sterling silver jewelry, which is already too much used, very small pieces on the Goodwill auction, and I ended up bidding. The first bid was like 15. It didn't work because someone outbid me, and I was at 16. I went to submit 16. It showed me that I bid 3303, and that my highest bid for this like $15 item plus shipping and handling, they always charge all these fees, $1,944. Auction ended Sunday. Today's Tuesday, folks. Oh my god. I emailed everybody and their brother. I could not undo it. These pants are pretty big because of my big size, but they're more like, I didn't realize that they were more like leggings. And, oh, you can actually see the sparkles in them. I don't like them. They're really, they're time and true. Is that Walmart? Target? And keep them away. These are like thinner than you'd expect. So I wore those with a shirt out. Did I get this shirt? I gotta do a haul video, guys. Let me show you this. It's hanging up. I don't know if I washed it. I wore this with this. I wore this on the airplane last year with a fish brooch, and it broke. It's like got a thing in the back. This is probably, oh, it's H&M. This is definitely too small. It's a large. This is not cute on me. But with those pants, it looked actually like it went together. Like, this is not cute on me. I wore it to the airport, and I felt like everyone was giving me dirty looks. I was like 20 pounds lighter last year, too. But why? Doesn't matter. I wore it as a lucky shirt. I wanted it to be sparkly. Okay, we're doing a haul from, I'm not being sponsored, so I've never been sponsored by anybody for business. Alright. And blessings to the sponsors who sponsored me for 12-step meetings. I never had a mentor for my Buddhist recovery groups. 19 years clean and sober. I have to work and do my billing today so I can pay for this stuff that I put on credit from Mountain Rose Herbs. Some of these items I could see on AliExpress I see on Amazon for cheaper. I see on AliExpress. And I could have got it for at least half as much, or maybe a quarter, if I bought like 100 or 200 of the same items. So I ended up saying I'm paying 4 times more and putting money in their pockets. I felt like an idiot. So all of this stuff, I was on a mission the other day, and I should have written down what I had in mind for these items. Okay. I was trained, before I went to naturopathic medical school, I was trained to do, or I was self-taught in a lot of different things that I did. I could not find any doctor to help me with the herbal things. I had one naturopath that was fairly new that told me to write my own orders for any herbal things as I was a student. And that person, I would literally write the order and she would sign it, and I'd send it to the medicinary at NUNM, the used to be National College of Natural Medicine. They do prescription like herbals and other medications. So I haven't, even as a naturopath, not being able to afford a naturopath, I used to go to Chinese medicine that was for homeless people, but then they started charging more money than I could pay. Legitimately did not have the funds to pay, so I never went back. Which is unfortunate because that was where I was feeling like I was getting all the care in herbs. And I was donating money, but my donation, voluntarily start donating a little bit of money. My donation was way lower than what they wanted. And it was reasonable. It was like $10. It was reasonable, but I did not have $10. I was homeless with 2 children, no child support, no welfare. I don't even know. These student loans I talked about, unfortunately, fortunately, is what kept my kids from starving to death. And I borrowed as little as possible. So having this in my pocket and knowing that or my home, and knowing that I trained and pre-trained to do herbal things, and having a medicinary in my house when I had a house with cabinets and jars where I could put things and label them. It feels kind of awkward just having things in boxes on the floor. I'm missing my capsule maker. Again, go to your healthcare provider. If you look at Dr. Google online, it says do this, do this, do this. I don't recommend it. I have a hard time doing certain medications for certain people during the appointment based on their condition, their allergies, intolerances, and their medications that they're on, whether those are prescription or over-the-counter, something they're taking on their own, supplements. Chinese meds, that's a whole nother ball game. If their healthcare provider is doing Chinese meds, it's often a blend or it's a pill, tea pill. So I'll go through this as a shopping haul, and then when I start doing the videos, when I continue my disclaimer and talk about what certain things can be used for, what I use for, then I'll just continue. You'll see it. I'll try to label the video, but know that I do have pearls of wisdom and information often coming up at the end of the video when I stop getting as anxious as I do, especially when I'm not sure when someone's going to walk in and watch me doing my videos inside the home. This is a cute jar. I could have gotten it probably cheaper with just a refill, but I'm like, I don't know what kind of jar I'm going to use. Tiger tooth powder, cinnamon mint, and I had some kind of jars, some Italian jars at the other home. I have teeth issues, gum issues. I went to a periodontist for the first time. The first time I was recommended I go was like sometime after 2006, maybe 2007 or 8. Someone said, oh, I'm going to make you a referral for a periodontist, and they never did. And now it's like over 10 years, 15, 20 years, I don't even know, 2018 plus 5, 15 years ago, I should have gone. And they're going to try to cut my gums, peel it back, and then suture them. Oh, didn't describe it like that, but the video showed that. I'm scared. Okay, rosehip seed oil. I'm not even sure. Is this got carrier oils in it? Oh, it is a carrier oil. What? It says carrier. I don't know what I was thinking when I had this. Just let me get this done before my partner comes. Damiana. I don't even know why I got this. Like, I don't know where my brain was thinking. And I already have my coming with my boyfriend and not being able to afford to go back to my house to grab my stuff, because I basically came out here with just a backpack on my back or something. Literally, that's how I had like no clothes and underwear and stuff, and then we couldn't get a job for the life of us. So I didn't have my Urs, I didn't have my Doc Martens, I didn't have, at least not any boots, I didn't have clothes and underwear. Then I rapidly gained weight. We were eating out food pantry, even if I'm raw. My boyfriend's like, oh, you're gaining weight because when you do get a little money and we go get food, you eat, but you gain weight because you're so stressed out that you're running out of food, that your body just retains, you know. And it's hard because I was training myself to eat high fat. I have very low metabolism, by the way. So there's that. There's red clover. I was expecting the flowers. I feel like an idiot because, as you can see, this is green. So I guess I needed to order the flowers. I don't know. Again, I want to go more into detail. As I worked other jobs that weren't naturopathic in nature, even having had my clinic set up prior to, like, I set it up and then I got the license in 2015, thank God, and then got the midwifery in 2022, I have the patients that I was giving herbs and like, oh my God, this is amazing, it cured everything, I can't believe it, I come back, where are the herbs that I gave you, that I donated to you? Well, I threw them away. And my friend, you threw them away, that stuff, like, saved you. I donated it. It was like, it wasn't in a pill bottle, it wasn't in a shiny container with a label that has your name being billed to your insurance. It's just some lady comes over with a bag that has your name and everything handwritten. So I kind of steered away. And then the rules about what you can do in your clinic under the conditions of, say, if somebody's doing, which I didn't do alcohol, but say tinctures, and they're doing a blend for their patients specifically, or they're doing like a skin salve, which I've done. What are the rules for the jurisdictions that I'm in on making a combo med or making an herbal blend? So I don't have access to the medicinary where I can order it to a place that's set up, probably has inspections. What could I do for my personal patients besides have them put this stuff together, which so far lately I've only had like one person do something similar. This is Woman's Balance Tea. I don't know why I got this either. I'm really supporting my woman's health, and it's been neglected like crazy. In fact, wasn't I supposed to go get a yearly in June? So raspberry leaf, I'll have to look into that. Something's telling me I have another. I ordered another one from the co-op locally, and then I just emptied my other raspberry leaf. I think it was from Frontier Co-op yesterday into the container. So this is also, I feel like I lost my mind. I didn't have the money to get this. Why was my body craving this? Ashwagandha powder, cranberry powder, Dysandra powder, cola nuts. This has caffeine. Oh shoot, it doesn't even say how much is it. Oh, it does. Thank God. Alright, make sure that I don't mix this with my rose hip. These are hard. I have rose hips and they're hard to break up. I already have one of these. It looks abnormally thin in this kind of box. I already have one of these. I was in the mood to be making a whole bunch of cheese at once, guys. I'm just crazy. But whenever I ordered this, I don't know what was going through my mind. I knew one of these herbs. This one I was looking into that day, but I don't know about the other ones. Some of this I have to make sure I don't already have. Like, no, I don't have. I had some whole herbs. There was some, they say this is organic. Some of this stuff still, I know it comes from China and stuff. And if I had the, say, 2021, 2022 shortages, and I couldn't find, like, ginkgo leaf, but I could find ginkgo powder. So I got to go through and organize it because their stuff is in tubs on a wire shelf. So this is the same tea, but with a 10. I don't know why I needed the 10. Did I pay more? Probably. That was stupid. What am I thinking? Was it on sale? $5.50. That's kind of expensive for this. You can get the 10s of the rooibos at the store for like 10. And that, actually, the organic rooibos ones. Oh, I wonder if these are already made tea bags. think it's still, yeah, it's loose. I don't know why I bought this, because I do have some containers from the rooibos that I saved. I tried to recycle, and my boyfriend, like, that's one of the few things he took out of recycling. He's like, wait, did you mean to recycle that? It's like, you gotta reuse those. So I put other rooibos in, and I got bulk. It tastes like chemicals. This is the item that I found on AliExpress, and this is really thin bamboo. I don't even know. I'm just kind of scared of it not working the way I want. And then it's got the top. It smells really strong, like a chemicals. I don't know what's up with it. And it's not that big. What does that look like? Because there's it stink, the vacuum sealed stuff. This does not go all the way down. It really stinks like chemicals. So, and you put the tea in here. The top also has a strainer, which is nice. And it has this little prongs. Hand wash only, no microwave. You can put it in, but then you plop it down. I don't know why it stinks though. And then maybe because of the plastic in here. Pour the hot water in over the herbs. Fold the handle down. And then you have it. And the one thing I don't like about tea strainers, even though I have now too many, is you actually really have to fill it up. So if you wanted to make iced tea, or if you want to add honey or something later, I feel like, because I don't want to, since I do raw, I would use warm water, but I don't even want to heat my honey. I guess if I was going somewhere, I'd have to use a honey in the bottom, because if you fill it and take the top out, you'd have room, I guess. But if you're out and about, oh yeah, can you drink it with the strainer in? So that's probably why it clamps down. So yeah, I figure out the sweetener thing. I have some little honey packs that I usually save those. I should have left some with my relatives. And now I have this item. Is called a Colbach glass bottle. I have an issue with buying bottles from these folks in jars and not using them. This is beautiful. Okay. Let's see if I can get the styrofoam back on, which I did not do a good job of. So it has the mister top. I was hoping it would come with a regular lid and the mister. Like, I thought I had bought they had the tops separate, so I should have got the jars with their own tops and then the separate misters. I guess I wanted it, whatever I did, I wanted to make sure that it fit the right thing. So I was a little disappointed that it didn't come with a regular top like this. I can look around and see what I have already saved. I've been trying not to save everything, and that causes anxiety. What's this not? And then the last item, they didn't put in a bag, which is kind of creepy. It's just a little bit of glycerin. So if I have a bottle like this, I can make a glycerin, or I guess I gotta use a clean jar. I don't have clean jar tops. I don't know what to do, like boil it. I was thinking of putting hot water in the jar carefully, and I guess whatever lid I have, and then somehow using wax paper or silicone, which wouldn't be sterile or anything. Between that, since the jars I use would likely be used, I don't have any. I don't have a lot of canning jars. There's some little ones. I haven't made a glycerate. I was trained in school. This company will send you mail that has information about a lot of what I learned in school was about making tinctures, alcohol based, and I like glycerites because I don't do alcohol. I mean, 19 years clean and sober, guys. People make fun of me. Even people in my program say my program's messed up if I don't do tinctures. What's wrong with me? You need to check yourself with your sponsor. Someone told me. Well, guess what? You're doing tinctures all day, every day. My friend who was lightweight, then she went and took 4 samples of a tincture, and she was tipsy and drunk. I saw another woman, petite, get really drunk off of fondue. Like, I'm not even, like, exaggerating. She was loud, crazy, laughing. I don't know if she fell on the ground and was, like, rolling around on the ground. It was at a restaurant with our church, and they kept bringing more fondue, and she got drunker and drunker. And I was sitting at a table with someone who was in recovery, and they're like, I love this stuff. And I was like, yeah, when I was younger, I used to use kicking wine as part of my supply, So that, everything here, again, I need to get paid for the work I already did, get out of debt. What I should do is just not buy anything and use that to get out of debt. Even though the interest is so high, I'll be paying interest for the next 30 years and still waiting for a miracle, but realistically, without the miracle, paying on student loan interest, not even making a chunk into the debt, and having a near impossible time to get a credit card, a house, a car if needed, any credit, which I could have done before I graduated. I should have been smarter. I knew better, and I wasn't true to myself. The word pre-apocalypse I looked up yesterday, and I think of having stuff on hand, having the ability to mortar, pestle stuff, grind stuff, add stuff to make granola bars or capsules or different teas for my own health. The price of this would have been about the price if I were to go see a healthcare provider. As a healthcare provider myself, I do think that I should also see a healthcare care provider for my health, like for my natural health. I see a PCP for other health, and it usually ends up some sort of a disaster, but that's what my insurance pays for, and it's like pulling teeth trying to just get a standard of care that's average. Even subpar is hard to get even. So when I do not go to the acupuncturist or the other provider because I'm not able to afford it, then I think about my aromatherapy machine, and I think about, let's see, I have one of my items, kind of stinks. I finally used, the roller from Mountain Rose Herbs, the same company. I had sent a bunch of these containers to my kids for Christmas. Not these, but I don't know if I sent some different containers where I was making like hair products for myself, but different oils blended. I don't really like the smell of this, but my acupuncture had a similar two essential oils that I hadn't been familiar with, and in her house it was clean. She was kind, and I was just like, oh, it smells so good. I should have talked about it. It's blue, if you could see it. I don't remember what I used as a carrier oil for that, but this is the first time I've used a roller. I have some chapstick, or like lip balm containers, and I think I might have one tin and a couple of plastic containers left over. And then I have jars. I have some jars in my other home. It was supposed to be for the clinic. I had a bunch of bags over there too, because I thought that, say that woman's fertility, I had a bunch of herbs in my clinic office locked up in the file cabinet or in the medicine cabinet, and I thought I had a bunch of measuring cups and scales. I was going to weigh this stuff out and scoop it out and take the labels. I had a bunch of labels. I was going to write the patient's name and the name of the clinic and all that, tape that to the container with instructions, and they would go back with a bag of, like I said, scooped out of the study I didn't make, just distribute that bulk into their serving size. So that's how I set up my clinic, and it didn't work that way. So I've gone to clinics where they have jars of different items, and then they have a locked case with supplements like vitamin D and multi and children's probiotics and all that stuff. So that didn't work for me. I also had a business where I was going to make more like certain things that were more over the counter and not specific for health, like especially not individualist health. And I have my other website and company that was supposed to incorporate things for the public. The sterling silver earrings that I made, the glass beaded necklaces that I made, potential lavender sachets, and that didn't go over too well, and I'm still making that. So I need to get back into that and get a business account and have the accounts, make sure it goes to the other businesses I haven't been paying attention to while I still have. I think I'm supposed to still have a credit card for that company. I need to look into that. So what do you do to be true to yourself? What do you do to follow your path. What do you do? The word pre-apocalyptic, when everything is a certain way, and then you notice and you see, even if it's skewed reports, unemployment reports or health reports or different things about poverty, the price of houses and the interest rate and all this stuff. What do you see in the news that could be skewed, that you know is skewed, or that it shows a definite, like, oh, the hottest place, oh, somebody died in the heat, oh, there's these crazy floods in a place that hasn't had floods in a while, and then you see this life not trying, like, utopia or dystopia. You're not trying, you want to go through utopia. When I watch utopian movies, I get really scared about the really rigid rules and the brainwashing, and the people that make the rules are having the fun, and everyone else is kind of like automatons and zombie, like, I don't know. When I see stories on utopian, I'm feeling like, just like now, you're either at the top, going to your summer beach house, flying to France or Greece, or you're sleeping on the road, walking around barefoot with dirty clothes, begging people at a food, I don't know, what is it in the city where you go in and get food from a stand and you get to eat at any other table, so you're not just like in a restaurant specifically with the same people eating the same food as you. People are coming in asking for money. So to go back to the answer and to wind this up, or sorry, to what I was speaking about, getting an uptick in people begging me or giving me dirty looks, I went on Craigslist. I needed something for my phone, my iPad, and especially my EpiPen to carry with me, and I noticed that it's hard to find a little tiny purse that fits the EpiPen, let alone the mini iPad. Especially this case, this new iPad case holds a pen. It's the only one I could find, and it's horrible, and it's a lot bigger. It might have a little cushion and props it up when I set it on the table, but it definitely doesn't fit in any bag any better, and it's getting torn up because of that. But yes, I had 4 free bags, like fake leather, off the local Facebook group, and I got them. And they smell like perfumey, like laundry detergent, but they look nice, and they look clean, and they look sturdy, and they look a little bit expensive, even that they're just like, I don't know, what is the Relic brand? I don't know how long they last. The person probably didn't use them, or they got them as gifted to them or something. But people have been looking at me like, oh, you think you're rich? Who do you think you are? I was doing my own work yesterday inside the home, and just like kitchen, housework and stuff. And I was thinking about my mother, how particular she was, and how I said already when they were dirt poor, kind of. They weren't dirt poor because they didn't have a dirt floor. My grandma bought a 3-bedroom house. But anyways, she probably paid cash for that thing. Who knows? But she always was particular, whether she was in poverty or whether she had middle class income or whether they had upper middle class income. Always particular the hair, a little bit of makeup, always had the toothbrush, wear a robe in particular, wear a robe around the house, pajamas underneath, don't go outside. Like me, I'll be in my pajamas, oh, we gotta go somewhere, let's throw on some clothes. I feel like my mom is, no, you gotta get in the shower and be head to toe to go out. Even, I don't even see her go out to check the mail or get the newspaper without being dressed. I mean, ended up wearing like stretchy pants, knit pants, and sweatshirts with turtlenecks for school, like some kind of theme. If it was like spring, she'd have flowers or whatever. I don't remember actually flowers, but she had some kind of theme. So I went against what my parents had said. Even my legs have been hairy because I can't find the electric razor that works. The one that it's really old, it works, I don't know where it is. And then the one that I bought recently, it doesn't work for a piece of junk. I'm so mad. I'm going to have to just break down one day and get a regular name brand razor that has the changeable blades, like a electric. I don't like a close shave. I don't want razor bumps. They say you get razor bumps from not getting a close enough shave. Like, if the hair gets short and underneath the skin, I feel like then 100% of the time I get razor burn and razor marks. But I also have a habit of using dull razors when that's supposed to be contribute. I was like, I don't want a close shave, I just want to trim. Is that a difference? Yeah, I want to trim. Walking around with the dress and no shaving and feeling messy. My hair is up. I rarely put my hair up, but I washed it, didn't moisturize it, and it is just looking crazy. I get treated a lot worse when I have my natural black hair with this band of hair missing from wearing headbands. So I don't want to do this every day, but I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Speaking of the oils and the herbs and stuff, to try to see what I can do from the inside out. I'm really, really wanting to go to holistic or functional medicine or integrated healthcare provider for my own care, but legit, my insurance doesn't pay and my job doesn't pay me pretty much at all. The day will come when I earn enough and I can actually count everything off my taxes, my room and board, or my rent for my office space and all that stuff is just crazy. Crazy. Insurance, you got a bill for like $500. If you don't make any money, how do you pay $500? Especially when you put this on your credit card. Just throw it on the credit card. That's sad. It's not good advice. So getting those purses, people looked at me different. People gave me more dirty looks when I walk around. I raised this before. A white woman that was part of a signing that I was doing as a notary told me I shouldn't be wearing dresses like this, that I needed to be wearing used stuff. And my partner, when I first met him, he's like, oh, we're going to go to the market in Seattle and we're going to get you a summer dress. How does that sound? And I was like, what kind of stranger comes up and you just met me a week ago and like you're making plans to take me to Seattle to go buy a summer dress? And I'm thinking of those old books with Laura Wick with the people, the girls running around in the 1800s, like white petite girls with these flowy, flowery dresses and these linen cotton dresses. I'm like, I think I always obsess about my kids. I'm like, oh, my daughter, I need to get her a notebook instead. I don't think I end up getting a dress. So we got some pickles. I forgot to eat them. We got some McClure's pickles and some honey or something that we never ate. Oops. Maybe it's still in there. Hello?